Look on the screen right now, guys. Daniel Gafford, Tyus Jones for Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes in the 2025 unprotected Knicks pick. Am I asking for too much? Is that too much? I feel like that's a decent deal. We know that the Wizards are reportedly under a mandate from the ownership, according to ESPN, that they need to get more picks and young players. While we know the Knicks, because Isaiah Hartenstein, according to Ian Begley, and being out or day-to-day with an Achilles injury, and Mitchell Robinson being out, maybe coming back for the playoffs, would like to bring in a guy like Daniel Gafford. You could trade Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier in a pick, and be able to take on Tyus Jones, Daniel Gafford. I feel like that they wanted backup point guard depth. So I feel like this is a win-win situation. So yeah, that's the report we're hearing right now. What do you guys think? Daniel Gafford is somebody that the Knicks are targeting. And like I'm all for Gafford. Gafford's averaging 10-7 this year, 10.7 rebounds and like a block a game. And what are you getting with Daniel Gafford? Daniel Gafford he's making like $12 million a year. He's perfect in this backup role. High energy, athletic, big, who's going to be able to rebound really well. He's like 6'10", 240. Elite shot blocker, has great pick and roll ability. He'll finish above the rim every time. Lob threat. Besides dunks, not going to do much scoring. He's like the perfect Mitch Robinson backup. Like Mitch Robinson and Daniel Gafford for the future. Like, I love that. And he's not going to shoot the ball. And yeah, sometimes the ball gets stuck in his hands and all he thinks is like, oh, let's put this back up. But man, I mean, if I'm a Knicks fan, Gafford's kind of the guy that I would not be surprised if, they go out and get him, because that's what I would do. I think there's a lot of potential there with a guy like him. And I know it seems like, just being a bit overzealous and wanting to get someone to help out this team. I just think it makes sense if you're a basketball fan that you would go out and maybe do a deal looking for somebody like a Daniel Gafford. So to me, it makes sense. It's not out of this realm to want to see if a guy like Daniel Gafford is available. And I think getting Tyus Jones are killing two birds with one stone, in my opinion. I seriously do. So in that case, yeah, I think you're putting yourself in a position to succeed. So that's it. Let me hear your thoughts down below. So the New York Knicks are showing interest in Daniel Gafford per Jake L. Fisher. There are guys on the market right now like Daniel Gafford, with Mitchell Robinson being injured, who's definitely a dialogue. And if you're the Knicks, you know that this is a cheap deal. That Daniel Gafford, he's a starting center, but he would be probably the best backup center in the NBA if they were to make him a backup. He's just like an average, maybe an above average starting center. He makes 12.4, which is a little hard to swallow. But the idea is that they do have that deal of Evan Fournier under roster. So and Evan Fournier, the thing is they probably want to get another player that Evan Fournier can be under contract for another year, but they definitely want to have be able to continue to have flexible salary. So a deal of Evan Fournier for maybe DeLon Wright and Daniel Gafford, I wouldn't be surprised if, or another deal, I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Gafford and maybe a Danilo Gallinari for Evan Fournier, and if they throw in just like Malachi Flynn as a salary filler or something like that, would help. Because then if Mitchell Robinson does not come back by the end of the season, or if he does and he's bad, you now have this cool rotation of Isaiah Hartenstein, Jericho Sims, and Daniel Gafford, or Daniel Gafford and Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein. And the thing is with Daniel Gafford this season, he's a guy who's averaging in 26 minutes, 10.5 points, 7.7 rebounds, and just under 2 assists. Last year, he averaged 9 points, back-to-back years in 22 to 23 and 21 to 22. He averaged 9 points playing 20 minutes a night and 6 rebounds and a block a game. He's averaging 2 blocks a game this year. He's a career 70% field goal shooter. And what you're getting with Daniel Gafford is a high-energy, athletic big man who's a great rebounder and shot blocker, super efficient shooter. He's only going to shoot 5 feet within the basket, pick and roll big, who's great at finishing above the rim. Besides dunks, like Mitchell Robinson, not much of a scorer. He's not comfortable dribbling or shooting the basketball, and the ball can get stuck in his hand when he catches it. But I think he'd be a good guy for them. It's very similar to Mitchell Robinson.